Hi folks, it's Andy and welcome to another episode of Kendo Video Feedback. So here we are. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos in this series. Basically, I look at videos that some of you wonderful viewers have sent in and we watch them together. I give you some feedback and hopefully everybody can learn. Few things, of course. Massive thank you to everybody that sent the videos. I've got a little bit of a backlog of them at the moment because it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and do this. We're going to look at 2 videos today. If you'd like to have your video sort of looked at in a video like this, I don't know how many times I can fit the word video into one sentence, send it over, mail@KendoStar.com. The way you need to do it, you need to upload it to YouTube and you need to set it to unlisted, okay? Don't set it to private, set it to unlisted, and send me over the link and I will cover it in one of these episodes. Also, just watch it in the comments, yeah. We never get any negative comments, you know, on these videos, but just in case, I do say this every time, don't be going in there and sort of, you know, these people have been fantastic and brave enough to send these videos in for us all to look at. So I don't want any of that sort of rubbish in the comments. I'll just delete it if you do, so don't waste your time. Before I click play, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, you know, the YouTube stuff. But most importantly, if you like these videos, if you like the other videos that I do, I've got more content coming soon as well. Shop at KendoStar.com. I'm sure you already are, but shop at KendoStar.com. It's the best Kendo equipment website in the entire galaxy. Of course, I would say that because I own the place, but everyone agrees to shop at KendoStar.com. Right. Let's have a look. So what we're looking at first, we're looking at a 5th Dan grading. This is recent. This was in Brussels, actually, in Belgium. I was there. I was not part of the panel or anything, of course. I'm not quite qualified for that. This was the grading that's attached to the European Zone Shimpan seminar, which I was also in attendance at, which was a fantastic event. So we are looking at someone that's already sent us videos before, actually, so it's great to see your progression. I think you sent us some videos of your Shiai from the last Shimpan seminar from the same event, but they were Shiai videos. Now this is your grade and this is you attempting 5th Dan. I do believe that you were successful, so big congratulations, first of all, on achieving the 5th Dan. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So you are on the left side. Okay, good Sonkyo, good Kamae. I think we talked a little bit about the sort of S-shaped Kamae. I think it's got a bit better, which is good. Excellent. Good Shotachi. Let's have a look at that again. I'm going to break it down in slow motion. Good, fantastic, clean, pure Ippon. Very, very good. Okay, so probably you've passed your grading at this point here. Very nice. I'm a little bit curious on your grip of the Shinai. I think it's a little bit too... I'd like to see it a little bit more, bring your wrist around a little bit more so you're holding a bit more from above. I think you'll find that your waza are a little bit easier to apply when you need to. Okay, so this is a good degote, a little bit cramped, You're a super tall guy, I can see. So from this distance, it's not that you can't do degote, you can, but it was just a little bit slow off the mark. So it seemed a little bit reactionary. Look, it's clearly in, It's clearly good strike. But if you'd been able to pop it that split second earlier before they'd started to come forward quite as much, it wouldn't have had to be quite as cramped as it was. So it would have just looked a little bit nicer. See how it looks a little bit sort of like this rather than pam this way, okay? So, thing is, you know, you're not going to get Degote from a far away distance because no one's going to leap at your men from miles away because you're really tall, especially, you know, against an opponent that's quite a lot shorter. So it's going to be really hard to get them to come from men at a far distance that's comfortable to do like a Degote like that. So a well-seen waza, but like I say, if you just been that little split second earlier, not with your waza, but with your semi, it might have just looked a little bit nicer overall. No, this is fine. This is fine. You know, try the semi. Things didn't quite work out how you perhaps were intending. So just keep your composure. Absolutely fine. It's all good. I feel like your Kensen's a little bit high. Do we have a look again? See how it's like, it's sort of, if we extend that line, it's sort of going up towards here. See that? I think you can see my cursor. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Can you see my cursor? Yeah, I think you can. It's sort of going up towards here like this. You see that? So I think you'll find you'll have a much more effective semi as well if you drop the Kensen a little bit, especially as you sort of apply that pressure a bit more. It's just a little bit, it's a little bit high. What a great man. I'll watch that again. All I'd say on that, right? All I'd say on that is, look, you're 503, so I don't know exactly how old you are, but you're obviously not very old. You're not like old, right? So this men's strike is fine, but there's two things about it. Is one is I don't feel like your like Fumikomi is taking you very far. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's quite shallow because you're starting from quite a wide stance in the first place. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I think you could probably make the strike a little bit more dynamic if there was more launch from your left leg, which there doesn't appear to be a massive amount of right now. And second, after striking your hikitsukeashi, your left foot coming up is a little bit slow. So after hitting, it's a little bit less dynamic than it could be. Yeah, like you really want to try and after you make impact, you have to speed up rather than sort of maintain the speed or slow down. Really speed up and it'll look much better. It'd be much harder for them to do any sort of Orjuwaza. Speaking of which, I can see that's what's about to happen. That was good. Yeah, that was a fantastic men kaishido. Very, very good. Good control of the distance. You've got a really beautiful kendo. I think it's really, really well pulled together. And, you know, I can see why you sailed through this grading. Yeah, good. But again, you know, what a brilliant men's strike. Really fantastic strike. And then I'd just like to see it sped up a little bit after the strike itself. It's really, you know, move a bit faster. Great, diggled it. I think all your waza are almost successful, right? Like you have to pass this grading. Fantastic. Okay, good. I mean, what a great jitsugi. All right, what a great jitsugi. I don't know the results of the grading. Obviously, there's a little bit of a, you know, I think it was very difficult for your partner to deal with you. Obviously, there's a big height difference. So, you know, clearly your semi was very effective. And you made some fantastic strikes. Let's have a look at the second match. I think this is the second match, and that was the first match. Yeah, because you're 3 and they're 4. I guess maybe there isn't a 2. Let's have a look. Let's see how we go. Good, good. Okay, I don't think it's a problem that your first strike wasn't successful. Let's go back and have another look at it though. So here, right, there was probably a good chance you were going to hit men, and your partner knew that and thought, when they're going to come for men, I'm going to do the Kaido, which is obviously what's happened, all right? Which is all fine. But what you need to do going forward, you need to try and look to read that a little bit, right? And you can still make this men, but what you have to do is you have to, your semi wasn't good enough, which is why it wasn't able to be successful. So you kind of went in this sort of rhythm, men this way, so it's quite easy for your partner to read. Whereas if you'd been a little bit more, it's hard for me to show on the video, but a little bit more sort of using the sort of broken rhythm a bit more, bam, then it's going to be much harder for them to sort of counteract you. Whereas the way you approach this first men, look, for fifth dan and stuff, it's no problem, obviously. But I'm just giving you a bit of advice, I think, of how you might be able to make this men a successful ippon in the future. Again, I really want to see you speed up after those men strikes. It's much harder for them, because his Kaido is pretty slow, you know. But if you'd been like a lightning bolt after hitting that men, even if it's not successful, there's no way that Kaido is going to hit you in time. But you sort of gave him the time to do it. Kamae looks great. I remember we talked about your Kamae in the last video, and it's definitely improved. Eye for an eye, eh? This is a good Kaido. Very good, very good. Just be a bit careful if you can. It's hard with your height, right? It's hard with your height. You are just about making the strike with both hands. It looks a little bit like it's mainly the right hand doing the work. So it just looks a little bit like that. Might be wrong, but look, it's ippon if you ask me. Good semi-eye, good semi-eye. Still think your Kamae is a little bit high though. And it's all right when stuff like this happens, right? You know, when like something it doesn't quite go to plan, that's fine. You know, you don't have to make 100. You don't have to have 100% success rate in your waza. It's all right when something doesn't quite go to plan, as long as you stay composed. What a brilliant man! That was great. So this is good, yeah. I see how you really took the initiative, the sen, and he had to react to you. He sort of couldn't cope with your semi anymore. So he had to try and push Yoshinai away and hit. But brilliant men strike. Brilliant men strike. I'm not here to criticize your opponent, but anyone that's watching that's looking to challenge fifth dan, I don't know the success of the other person either, but this kind of semi doesn't look great in the grading situation. This sort of bunny hopping, so just watch out for that. So let's have a look at that one. So didn't quite manage the Tsuriyage men, which is fine. Especially they came at us with a Nidan waza, which is a little bit unexpected. Good semi, but probably a little bit, yeah. It's a difficult one, that. It's a difficult one. Let's let it go. Overall, your Mai is a little bit close, though. A little bit close, especially with you being so tall. A lot of people are going to say that too. I don't necessarily think it's a problem to be able to attack from the close distance, but a lot of your interaction is starting from quite close in the first place. So one of the great advantages of being tall is that your opponent doesn't know how far away you can make the strike from. So you are a clear and present danger from a much earlier phase in the interaction than somebody that doesn't have the height that you do. So starting to apply your semi when you're already sort of quite close in is a little bit, it's a bit of a waste. You know what I mean? You could use it a little bit more to get a response a little bit earlier from your partner, I think. Okay, so slight break in concentration here. Probably thought something would happen, it didn't. Sometimes this happens, not the end of the world. But you've already passed the grading by far at this point, so you know, great job. Fantastic job, well done. And there we go. So yeah, first video, first couple of videos, absolutely fantastic. Well done on passing your 5th dan. Totally well deserved, as I said. Quick recap, like I said, Kensen's a little bit too high. You need to speed up your footwork after striking. It's a little bit too slow. It gives them that chance to do that Kaishido if they need to. And I'd also say, just think about the distance that you're at when you start applying your semi, because it seems a little bit close. And it just seems like you could get more out of it. Do you know what I mean? So well done, fantastic. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here we are with another video. It's a slightly different one from the last one. What we're looking at here is it's supposed to send me two videos. We've got a Shiai video and we've got a grading video, and the grading is for 4th Q. All right, so a little bit earlier in the stages than the last grading we watched. But we're going to watch the Shiai first, and then we're going to watch your your grading as well. For context, you've told me that, like I say, I think you got the 4th Q and you're 55 years old. So in this Shiai, you're white. So that's on the right hand side. Let's have a look. Right, let's fix your Kamae from the beginning, okay? Right, this is a very common issue with people around your level. We've talked about this S-shaped Kamae before in these videos, and it's very much a case here. Your hips are just too far forward. You're trusting the weight of the shinai. You're sort of carrying the weight of the shinai on your hips rather than with your upper body. And because of this, you won't be able to do an effective fumikomi. Your lower body is not prepared for you to do effective fumikomi. Okay, so I want you to push those hips back, stand up straight, hips back. Okay, again, Kensen too high. Okay, and that's a result of having your hips forward. Your shinai, of course, is going to come upright. Okay. Okay, so see how we're sort of swinging and your hands and feet are acting completely independently of each other. Okay, you have to stamp with your right foot with fumikomi. All right, that's the minimum requirement. Okay, so here your left foot's in front as you're sort of making the strike. You sort of just ran forward and sort of swung the shinai at them. All right, so even if this men reaches the target, it has no chance of being the yu called datotsu, the valid strike. All right, so I understand that when you're in the shiai, you want to make the points and you do your best, but if you get carried away and kind of let go of the basics, then even if your strikes reach the target, they're not going to make the ippon. So you're kind of being counterproductive. Okay, so you really need to focus on making sure that happens.
Zanshi, man.
Okay, so we need to, yeah, so we need to get this Fumikomi sorted. All right, this is going to be I can tell you now, this is going to be the theme of today for you. Is work on making strikes with Fumikomi, because there's no Fumikomi in the strike either. See how you're totally leaning forward, your feet are sort of still, and you just bashed at the kote. Okay, see this as well, right? There's a reason that we practice Suriashi, okay? There's a reason that we practice Suriashi, because now something out of the ordinary's happened, and you're sort of off balance, and you sort of, you know, you can't really stay in control of your actions. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if you're using good Suriashi, you've got a solid base as you move around the Shiaijo. All right, so go back and look at the basics that you practice in the dojo. That Suriashi, that Fumikomi, that has to be present in your Shiai. All right, you can't get. All right, you can't get. This isn't just for you. This is for everybody that's sort of around this sort of stage of Kendo, and maybe a little bit further on as well. You can't get the ippon in Shiai just by hitting the other person with your shinai. It's not enough, all right? It's not enough. So it's not who hits the other one first. Yeah, it has to meet the criteria of Yuko Datotsu. That means it has to be a strike with Kentai no Ichi, all right? That means your sword, your shinai, and your body and your spirit all has to be unified at the time of the strike. All right, whereas as we can see from here, it's still not quite unified together. All right, so I really want you to think about that as we carry on with your keiko. Okay. So again, you see how we're not really using Suriashi. We're just sort of stepping, and your heel's going down here, your heel's flat on the ground here. You've got that kamae that I talked to you about, and he comes in and he hits men on you. All right, this is probably, if this is a Q level Shiai, this is often the kind of men that would be given as the ippon, all right, because he's doing Fumikomi. If we compare it to the men strikes you were making before, he's hitting the target well. For this level, this is an acceptable level of Kentai no Ichi, okay? And you're unable to respond to it properly because you're unbalanced, not just like physically, but kind of your connection with them is unbalanced, so you're unable to respond. Left foot flat on the floor doesn't help, okay? Yeah. So it's so this is the meari, okay? So if you compare that men strike to the one you tried to do yourself, I think there's a lot to learn. I want you as well to, when you tie your men, make sure that the chichikawa is fully pulled up against the menbuchi, okay? So that it's properly fastened on your head. So again, go back and just watch what we just looked at, your partner's men strike and your men strike. See how it's still totally lacking the Fumikomi, all right? So we really need to, that's the key. Oh, that was a nice chance for the door strike, all right? That was a good chance for the door strike. But because your footwork isn't backing you up, you were unable to complete the strike. It was unable to have an element called kime, the thing that makes this sort of carries the strike from being just a strike to Yuko Datotsu. You're unable to complete that and a sort of strike with the appropriate zanshin, and this is mainly because your footwork wasn't quite able to back you up, all right? Unbalanced. Fantastic, well seen chance, but as I said earlier, although you hit the bogu with the shinai, it's not good enough to meet the criteria of Yuko Datotsu. And even though in a shiai like this, the requirements are lowered somewhat. So yeah, it's going to be getting back to that footwork. Okay. Okay, so again, see here how when you start to make a strike, because your feet and your hands or your upper body is not working in unison together. Lifting this way, then sort of stepping rather than doing the fumikomi, very, very open to this kind of degote, okay? And your partner, again, makes the strike with fumikomi. It's quite accurate. It's quite a good strike. Again, this could be the strike that gets Ippon in this level of tournament. Have to be careful after hitting door. Yeah, the hitting door, because again, your footwork isn't able to give you the sort of distance to turn around at a safe distance from your partner. This is a dangerous place to be hit. Okay, often you can receive the men's strike here. Luckily, his strike lacked zanshin, so wasn't awarded. You see what I'm saying about this kamae? See what I'm saying about this kamae? How it's sort of leaning back this way because your hips are too far forward. Fumikomi, fumikomi, fumikomi. See the strike here. Yeah, so if you watch your partner strike here. See, you actually made a good chance for kote. This is a good chance for kote, but because it is just with your hands, there's no fumikomi properly. Can't really be awarded, and the powerful men strike from your partner sort of overrides it. So unfortunate. Okay, so from the shiai so far, need to get to grips with that fumikomi. All right. So in your basic practice, don't rush. Don't just think to hit. When you're doing your big strikes, try to lift first, then forward with fumikomi, bam, rather than trying to do together. All right, lift first and men until you can get to grips with the timing of it. Okay. All right, let's have a look at the fourth cue test. I'm guessing you're this side. Okay, this is you receiving the kirikashi. I assume you're supposed to receive it just on the men without blocking. Tell you what, I'll give you a tip right off, okay? There's not a lot to be said here. First off, your hakama should be higher at the back than the front. So think about that when you're wearing it. And also, when you're moving back on kirikashi, this should be suriashi. Okay, it's ayumiashi, but it's suriashi. It's not just walking. Okay, it's suriashi. So your toes shouldn't be coming up like this. All right. You see how your toes sort of come up like this? You should be doing suriashi, sliding footwork. Okay. Okay, so look, fourth cue, fine, all right? For me, you're gonna struggle with ikkyu, okay? Until we can get to grips with the fumikomi. See how your left heel's flat on the floor here? That's not a good thing, okay? You never want your left heel flat on the floor. Fourth cue, fine, but if we're gonna get you through ikkyu, all right? This first strike here, you don't want to strike from this position. You see how both your feet are literally together next to each other? All right, step forward, still kamae, bam, all right? And then you've tried to lift and stamp at the same time. And of course, you know, it's totally out of sync, okay? So you're hitting as the left foot comes up when that's not what you want to do. You launch forward from the left and strike. So when you're practicing this in your dojo, as I said, lift first, then launch and strike, okay? With the fumikomi at the same time, all right? when this is an issue that a lot of people have at your stage, okay? When you're going forward for these Sayumem strikes, it's not too bad. But when you come back, your hands and feet are not working together again. They're out of sync, all right? So can you see how you're still stepping and your strike lands whilst you're still halfway through your step? It all has to come together as one. So as your step ends, your strike lands as you go backwards, all right? So it's almost as you draw the right foot back. Bam, bam, bam. You shouldn't bob like this, I'm kind of emphasizing, yeah? But as you step back, here is when you strike, bam, yeah? Whereas your strike's landing halfway through your step, all right? It's super common, all right? So don't beat yourself up about it. It's super common at this level, but a lot of people aren't aware of it, all right? So just take that on board, okay? You see what I mean? And you got to keep your toes down. Good. This Sumikomi was better. Okay, this Sumikomi was better. This last one. Okay, let's see how you get on the Jitsuki, okay? Okay. Good. As I said, for 4th kyu, this is fine. For Ikkyu Shodan, you need to improve the Fumikomi. As I said, this is going to be the theme of the day for you, I'm afraid. Push those hips back. I think you're wearing the door a little bit too low as well. It looks really low, but it's hard to say. Yeah, it looks a little bit too low. Hips back and work on that Fumikomi, okay? Look, the contents of the Shinsa is totally fine. You know, absolutely 4th kyu, 3rd kyu even, every day of the week, cool. I like this Nukido you've got going on. I like it, yeah? I like this, I like it, I think it's good. But your footwork's not backing you up yet, all right? So, sharpen up your Suriashi, sharpen up your Fumikomi, get that Kamai sorted, and you're going to be fine to get through Ikkyu Shodan. But you're not quite there yet. We need to get those things sorted. Okay, so this is the Kendo Zero to Shodan series. I want you to go and watch this. All right, I've got the one on Kirikaishi, and I'll bring up the one on Fumikomi as well in a bit too, because there's a couple of points I want to illustrate using this. I can't really show you on this small part. All right, but this is a sort of slow version of Kirikaishi. This is like a Suriashi version, so I don't use Fumikomi in this particular version that I'm demonstrating right here. But what I'm talking about here is how your strikes and your feet should synchronize together, all right? So can you see how as the strike lands, the left foot is brought up, so it's together. And then the important part is as we go back as well. Together. Pam. This way. All together. So the right foot is coming back as the strike lands, and I end in this position. Yeah? Whereas what yours was before is your strike was landing and your feet were wide apart. Okay? So that's the first part of it, okay? So in this clip, I'm doing the first Shoumeuchi with Fumikomi. Now in this demonstration, I'm showing with Taiatari. This is a few years old now. I'm actually going to update it because Taiatari, should we do Taiatari, not do Taiatari in the Kirikaishi? It's become a bit of a question. But that's not the point I'm making, all right? What I'm talking about here is how I want you to do that first Fumikomi, okay? So once getting to our distance, you see how my feet aren't together like yours were? And then what I'm doing is I'm pushing from my left leg this way, pushing forward from my left leg, pulling a funny face. And it's not that the right foot lands immediately with the strike, but I'm launching and striking together, because this all happens within the space of a split second. And the whole thing is together, is, you know, synchronized, you see? Synchronized, yeah? So the foot, the feet and the hands are not operating independently, okay? So I recommend you go and sort of study that video as well. I really think you can do it. I don't need to take the criticisms too hard, because I know I've thrown quite a lot at you, but I think if we fix those things, we'll get you through Ikkyu and Shodan, all right? I definitely think that. But it's hard to spot, all right? And it's hard, sometimes you think you're doing it right, and without a sort of second pair of eyes from the outside, it can be a little bit hard. So I hope that's been beneficial to you, okay? Thank you to everybody that sent videos to us today. If you would like to send your videos, as I said at the start of the video, if you'd like to send a video to be, you know, featured in this series, just email it to mail@kendostar.com, upload it to to YouTube, and set it to unlisted, and send me the link. Okay, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.